Hey everyone, this is your average Jen with I'm Only Human podcast. Just checking in. Let's see if we can get some more stuff transferred over today. And still under the weather, but I'm gonna see. Hopefully, I can do better than the last time. Today is music talk, and eventually I have a new intro. Yeah, a new intro for this. But since this was like my very first episode with music and stuff, it's in the beginning stages. And my podcast does eventually grow as I do, as I learn how to do more stuff. So it's like going back in time to whatever. I don't know what I'm going to say. Let me share my screen. All right. Music talk with Dave and Ty. There it is. And play. Sorry, I just really don't feel good. Okay.
Hi there, and welcome to I'm Only Human, a podcast that attempts to explain how to coexist with other humans. This podcast is going to dive into topics like: is it possible to overcome human nature? Are rules and laws necessary for taming bad behaviors, or are they simply a control mechanism crafted by other disturbed minds? Why do we fight with each other? And how does traditional religion impact us? Can social disease be healed through individual recovery? My name is Jen, and I'm an average human. Before I begin, I would like to state that I will be talking about controversial things such as, but not limited to, religion, God, the Bible, 12-step programs, and politics. I am not an expert, and I don't claim to be one. I will, however, be referencing Alcoholics Anonymous because it is the granddaddy of all other 12-step programs. I will also be quoting things from the Bible and mentioning God along with different religions. I'm not trying to promote a particular program, nor am I trying to convert anyone. I believe religion gives us a foundation, and step recovery guides people down a path to self actualization. Social disease has been with us since the dawn of time, but recovery has still been achieved by millions of people. Through recovery, healing is possible. I believe that changed minds and attitudes can change our world. Hey everyone, today we have Dave and Ty with us. Dave and I were talking a little earlier about music and the kind of music we like. Ty, what kind of music do you listen to, and what does these bands, how do they speak to you?
I think, well, I'm Ty, and music's a huge part of my life, and I listen to all different kinds of music. It's not just one particular genre. I mean, I listen to some country, I listen to classic rock and roll, I listen to alternative, I listen to rap. I feel like new music doesn't really feel like music in general, but maybe the older you get, I think you just kind of connect less and less with the stuff they're calling music now. I think that might just be getting older.
Or just not having the patience to learn new music, or just saying, I don't want to listen to a different station. I just came upon music by accident. Like, I listened to 1029 The Hog, and they have different music. And then when I hear Motley Crue on like the classic station, it makes me kind of sad.
Somebody I found out I liked is Johnny Cash. Never listened to his music until he did a song called Hurt by 9 Inch Nails. He did such a good job on it. They're like, hey man, this is your song. And if you're to listen to each of them do the song, definitely Johnny Cash wins. And his songs, wow, talk about recovery and addiction. He's all over that, man. In the song Hurt, he has the line, that old familiar sting, relating to sticking a needle in your arm. Wow. How'd you like to wear my crown of shame? That's pretty deep, man. I love Johnny, the man in black.
Is he the one that sang the song "A Boy Named Sue," or was that someone
He
else?
is, yeah, that's Johnny Cash.
Do you know of Johnny Cash, Ty, or is that before your time?
Well, I mean, he was before my
Well,
time, but
before mine too.
I do know him, and I do know particularly the song Dave's talking about. He was a legend.
Yeah, that's for sure. And his wife too, June.
What about like Eminem? What do you guys do? You both know of
Eminem
Eminem?
he's a super talented guy, man. Unbelievable. And he's crossed the line with the black people, and they accept him, and he's wonderful. He's a storyteller all the way.
Yeah, every one of his songs tells a story.
That's for sure, man. He's awesome. He grew up in a trailer park in Detroit. He understands what it's like to come from the south side of the track.
When you were younger, Ty, did you have like a song you think is like your anthem song, like back in the day? Like I think Billy Joel's "My Life" is an anthem song for a lot of people.
You know, I don't really know if I have an anthem song for myself, to be honest. I don't think I have a particular favorite song where it's like, oh, this is my all-time favorite song. If it's something I like, I've generally listened to it probably hundreds or thousands of times.
Okay. Is there a certain song you've listened to hundreds of thousands of times? Something that we might know? I know it sucks to put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Oh, putting me on the spot. I had no time to prepare for the subject matter. I mean, a song I think I've listened to thousands of times is it would be "Noticed" by Little Mosey. It's I don't really care for the song. It's more of the melody or the beat. I don't know. It just spoke to me. It's gotten me through some times where it's just like I get into my head, or I get out of my head, should I say. You know, I just put my headphones on. That's how I'm able to get through certain things.
So what was the song again? I know I've heard of the band Mosey, but what was the song?
Well, it's Little Mosey is just he's by himself, but the name of the song is called "Notice," and I mean, it's just the song is retarded. I mean, if you listen to it, you probably be like, I don't get it, but it was just something about it that I just zoned out to it, and it's gotten me through a lot of work days. It's gotten me through a lot of hard times.
I know when I was younger, like back in, I think it was the early 80s, everyone was talking about music and all music's satanic. And if you play it backwards, you're going to be a satanic person. But I do believe that music can influence people, but I don't think it's satanic. So in what ways does music influence our world, do you think? Like the negative lyrics of all these rap songs that degrade women, do you think that has an influence on today's society?
Absolutely.
I thought there was going to be follow-up there.
That's okay. I can do a lot of editing, so we can make this into a good conversation.
I think I absolutely think that music has influenced a lot of negative things that have happened. I think it just people have this idea of what being successful is, and you know, you need to have this or that other thing. But I see a lot of that is just very superficial. On the surface, you've got all this, just take a music video, for instance, you know, bling and glamour and all that goes into it.
Yeah, I hate it. I hate it when I listen to a song and I have this image of what the music video is supposed to be in my head, and then I see the music video and it has nothing to do with the song. That upsets me.
Yeah, there's some pretty radical stuff out there, that's for sure. Takes a left turn, man, leaves you wondering, scratching your head, going, what was that all about?
Yeah, there was a song by Breaking Benjamin. It's called So Cold, but the video does not match the song, and it's so frustrating. So I can't get that image out of my head, but I love Breaking Benjamin. The only problem is you have to be in the right state of mind to listen to them, otherwise you're liable to commit suicide.
Yeah, they're a good band, and that's a really good tune. I know that song. I like Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah, but if I'm in a bad mood, that can just pull me further down into depression. And I don't think it's meant to do that. That's just how it affects me.
3 Days Grace is kind of a band like that too. Their music can kind of put you over the edge if you're not ready for it.
Certain music for like cleaning. I don't know why Def Leppard has become my cleaning music. Like it gets me pumped up. It's like, yeah, it's time to clean the house.
Yeah, you can clean it with one hand, pretend you're the drummer.
Oh, that was kind of mean, but funny.
Now, talk about perseverance. Now, there's a story in itself.
You got quiet
That
on me.
guy in a car accident, his arm, and the band decided we're not going on without him. He overcame it. He's a one-handed drummer, and he's badass. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool. Have either of you ever been interested in learning how to play any kind of musical instrument?
I would love to play the guitar and drums, both. I would absolutely love to learn how to play guitar. I know that my brother did. I started taking lessons when I was like in 6th or 7th grade, and I got mad and I smashed the guitar because I just wasn't catching on. But I think I've played enough air guitar. If I could learn how the chords work, I think I could be successful. I'd love to sit down and play some of the tunes I hear on the radio.
You
Tires
should play
cracking up
Guitar
here.
Hero.
Yeah, you could play Guitar Hero, but don't smash the guitar.
Right. Well, see, I have an attitude problem.
I guess so.
And it comes on really quickly. That's part of being bipolar. I can't predict what I'm going to be 10 minutes from now.
I get triggered
Yeah.
pretty easily. Like at work recently, I've moved to a different department and it's so stressful because the bosses are just always on our back and just moving things around and bringing more and more stuff. And it's impossible to do what they want us to do, and you just need people to back off.
That's the way of the world. It's more.
Right? It's like
More,
do more.
more.
How many more
That's
times can you crack the whip? You know,
That's
person could
the
only go so
democratic
fast.
way.
No, it's the
That's
greedy
the
way.
democratic way. Yeah. Well, that's Democrats, in my opinion.
I don't associate with Democrat, Republican. They're all stupid.
Right?
That's a fact. Totally criminals, man. How do you become a millionaire being a public service employee? I don't understand.
You got to be able to lie really good. That's how.
Yeah, you got to be able to sleep at night. They obviously have no problem there.
Oh, there's a medication for that.
Yeah.
Or it's called, I don't know, alcohol, drugs, whatever.
Right?
Who knows how much these people
Excess.
self-medicate?
Excess is the way of the world now.
I think
Can't have
everybody
enough.
self-medicates, and I think we all do it in different ways.
Even Superman needs a fix to save that bus, man.
Well,
Shine
right.
down, get that one right on the head.
Right?
Yeah.
Different ways. It's not, medicating isn't all about drugs and addiction. You can medicate by becoming obsessed with social media. You can medicate yourself by getting involved in video games and just tuning out the rest of the world, just becoming involved in something and forgetting that everything else exists. I mean, there's such a stigma around addiction where people think, oh, you're homeless, you're on a street, you're dirty. And that's not the case. That's not what addiction
Absolutely.
is.
My pastor is an addict. Been clean for 40 years, but doesn't change the fact of what he is. And he welcomes people like me in his church. And that's what really turned me on about it. I had no idea it was like that. The first time I met the guy was at a funeral for my neighbor. And I just felt like I belong here. And so I joined the church and I got baptized a year ago in March. So did Jackie. I was the first one in. I got baptized in a horse trough in front of 150 people, and it was so thrilling, man. It's one of the proudest moments of my life. I surrendered to Jesus a few years ago, and it's completely changed how I feel about things, how I treat people, how I like to be treated. I've had to wash my hands of friends I've been friends with for 30 years because our thoughts just don't align, and I'm not going to be around that corruption anymore. I'm going to heaven, and I've prayed to Jesus to let me bring my dog too, because I have my forever dog now. I sit and I wonder sometimes what heaven's like. Are we going to be able to fly? Who would that be? I can't imagine that there's going to be Elon Musk car factory up there.
There's not going to be any of those, I don't know, electric cars.
Right.
There's not going to be any money. We don't have to worry about money. We don't have to worry about anything. Everything we need is going to be provided for us.
There's gonna be no pollution. I wonder, is there indoor plumbing? Are our bodies going to work the same way? Are we going to have to defecate? I have a million questions. I want to find out the truth on whether we were visited by ancient aliens, and that's how the construction of the pyramids happened. I mean, there's thousands of pyramids around the world, and they're all so very similar and also very perfect. The mathematical equations that had to go into building that stuff at the time, where did that knowledge come from? And where did the tools come from? How did they haul them huge blocks 500 miles, and there's millions of them? It blows my mind. I want to know about the dinosaurs and the cavemen. I have so many questions. Who was the first one to figure out you could milk a cow and drink it?
Right, like who thinks of stuff like that? Ty, do you have any weird thoughts, stuff that you wonder about? Nothing is off limits except swearing because it's hard to edit out.
Right. Yeah, the one thing that I'm super great at.
Me too.
I don't really know.
And I'm embarrassed about it.
I've always had a filthy mouth, but I try to keep it PG. I mean, I guess I have questions, but I kind of have a different feeling or a different opinion about heaven, I guess, if you will. And in my opinion, I'm not sure that it's actually a place.
Okay, cool.
That heaven is a feeling.
It could be.
And I believe, kind of along the lines of like either reincarnation or just kind of energy. Your energy returns, your soul, rather. And what exactly happens to that, I'm not exactly sure. But I think hell is more of just a place that I think hell is humans being stuck in our brains. That's kind of my opinion also.
That makes total sense.
Because I can't think of anything worse than that, really. I mean, not that I think something else could conjure up for me.
Brimstone and fire.
Right. But I mean, I feel that heaven is just a feeling, I feel it's the ultimate feeling.
I wonder if we don't become a star.
Well, and that's another thing that a guy has.
And the energy that surrounds them, all the chemicals and what do you call it? All the matter, Yeah. Is that what forever is? Who knows, man? Well, maybe it's all a fantasy, but I don't believe so. I believe in Jesus Christ. There's too many witnesses and there's too much physical proof that he was real. So.
Oh, I'm sure he was real, but I also believe that the universe has more power than what we give it credit for.
Absolutely. And I believe there's plenty other life out there, and we're not alone.
Yeah, I still believe that we
might not recognize it as life. Oh, like you look at these star formations with all the clouds of gases around. To me, that's life. That's a living entity doing its thing with no boundaries whatsoever.
Yeah, I was looking at one of my flash drives today to move some files, and there was some stuff I had written back when I was a medical assistant. I used to study vocabulary, but I wrote stories based on like all these little things in our bodies. But all these little cells and stuff, they have a life of their own inside us. So
Exactly.
it's just weird. It's like Horton hears a who. I mean, how do we know that we're not on the tip of like a dandelion or something and that's our whole world, right?
We really
Nobody knows. Nobody, and even people who have died and have come back, they don't even know. They have no idea. It's just a feeling, and sometimes not a feeling. It's like I fell asleep and here I am again.
Yeah, there's plenty of people that have come back and can tell you exactly what happened at a certain time in history without having any prior knowledge to it. That fascinates me.
Right. And then there's some people that are born like just super smart, and maybe that's what reincarnation is. You know, you
Right.
remember all that stuff rather than having to learn your lessons all over again.
Wow, that's something I never thought of that. That's a very good possibility. 'Cause you got all these 3-year-old geniuses out there, kids that are graduating college at 12 years old.
Right. Like they might have just continued where they left off. And because
Exactly.
our souls are immortal, and
Yeah,
even the
I never.
dictionary says that our souls are immortal, but then the dictionary also says our souls are not important, which that's what humans think, but I think humans are wrong. A soul is very important.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, I kind of agree with Dave in that there might be something to that. When we pass, all of the energy in our body could actually create a star, or maybe every star in the universe represents some actual human that was there before us.
Right.
Kind of like I like to say, we're just but a speck of sand on life's beach. Reality of things, we're all just so minor.
And you think of the amount of time that we're alive as compared to time itself. Yeah, we're just a speck, man.
Right?
Who can even comprehend 1,000,000 years or 1,000,000,000 years?
Back in Genesis, they lived to be 1,000 or more.
Or 300 light years. Yeah, come on, man. What are you talking about? We know space is infinite.
Believe that there's a lot of truth in science fiction. It's just that our minds haven't accepted it yet. That's why it's fiction, but a lot of those things are coming to be now.
Oh, yeah. Just look at the Jetsons cartoon. How many things from that have come real?
Most of them.
We're doing it right now, talking on a phone, looking at each other. Back then, that was a fantasy. Now it's a reality.
And robots as maids and stuff like that. We got the Ramba thing that will vacuum for you.
If I would have had this technology available to me when I was growing up, my life would be vastly different, big time. There's so much information out there.
I think it's got to be harder growing up now with this technology because you don't know what's fact and what's fiction anymore. I suppose we never really did back then either, but you go to the library, you look at the card catalog, you look at a book, you don't look at the internet that has 5,000 different opinions for the same thing.
Right. Now you got artificial intelligence, which could be a whole new nightmare in itself.
Oh, yeah. I've seen the movies. They're going to rise up and take over and kill humans.
Exactly. And man created that. How are you going to stop the machine?
Have you guys ever seen the cartoon? Wild. It's not really a cartoon. It's called Meet the Robinsons. I think maybe it's a Pixar thing or it is a cartoon. Anyway, it's a kid's thing, and it's about how this guy created this device, and this device took over the world, and then he had to go back in time or something. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. It's just something that kids watch and they have no concept, and parents watch, and it's like that could really happen. Or like Titan AE, they explain kind of like Noah's Ark and stuff, how everything on that ark was really just little vials of stuff, because how can all that stuff fit on the ark? I did an episode where I gave the dimensions of that ark, and how can all this stuff fit in 33,000 square feet of space? There's no way.
Not true of every living thing that there is.
But with God, anything is possible.
Right. So with Titan AE, it was all a spaceship and all these one by one things. It was just a little vial, like a DNA sample to restart everything on another planet.
Sure, that makes sense.
But when they found the other planet, the trees and stuff was already there. It could already sustain life. All they had to do was put the animals and people in place. And maybe that's what happened here with Earth. That's how it was created so fast. So yeah, I'm kind
That's
of
pretty
weird.
wild to think, man.
I like talking about weird stuff like this. It's
That's
fascinating.
really wild to think about.
Well, thinking outside the box is what it's all about. That's
Absolutely.
creative juices flowing.
Well, I'm glad I'm not the only
Everything's
weird one. I mean, they never liked me much at church because when I was little growing up, I used to ask questions like that, and their answer is, "You just gotta believe." It's like, but
You can believe, but you can still have questions. No, there's nothing wrong with that. That's human nature.
in closing, I would like to say that the opinions expressed here were strictly of my own making or by my future guests. Take what you like and leave the rest. You may come to realize that you may not like me or what I want to share. Let's talk to each other, reason things out, but let there be no gossip or criticism of one another. Let the fellowship of ethical human behavior and the serenity from positive human interaction help you grow and chill out, one experience at a time. I would like to thank my higher power for guiding me through this podcast. I hope to spread the message of love, hope, and understanding by touching one life at a time.
Okay, and there you have it. Music Talk with Dave and Ty. Let me open this back up again and stop sharing the screen. Okay, here I am. I'm still here. Still not feeling the greatest. All right, so let's see. What did we cover in that episode? Things talked about self medication, how music contributes to our mental state, what is heaven like, and there's theories to consider like reincarnation and things like that. So my next episode is just a little bit of talk with Dave. In this episode here, Ty, he had called and jumped in, so we just created two separate things. So join me with just Dave next time, and it'll be a shorter episode. Bye-bye. And where is this? Okay.